good, beautiful people? Welcome to Guerrilla Tactics, the only place where you create guerrilla warfare to make change. Now, what's good, YouTube? How y'all doing today? First of all, I'm on my bed. I'm just chilling right now, you know what I'm saying? I woke up really early. I don't even know why I woke up so early, but sometimes God just got some insight for you, you know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to let you guys know that I'm finally doing the video, Survival of the Fittest. That was a video I was supposed to have done some time back, but I didn't do the video right away because of the fact that I wasn't sure what I wanted to talk about, but I finally got it in my head. I know exactly what's going on. I'm inspired. I'm ready to talk. You know, this is a discussion video, so please hit the comments, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, the whole nine. Please, I need to make this as lively as possible. I'm trying to have a discussion with everybody so we can make some change, and so we can make some change into this world and just bring some light into the world. You know what I'm saying? Survival of the fittest is something serious. And the reason why I call it survival of the fittest is because sometimes you have to survive through your journey before you can survive in life. And in order for you to survive in your journey, you got to be willing to fight for it. But before we get into all of that, I got another surprise for you guys. It's a song that I had made some time back. I want you guys to hear it. I'm thinking about pulling it out soon at some point, but I just want you guys to hear it. So let me know what you think. Yeah, check it. I'm living in the hood with a Glock be poppin'. Niggas push kush, kick pills and oxycontin. And I'm looking up, waiting for my skies to drop. My mind's full of sin and my life is full of knots. They don't wanna come close, I ain't worried. Revealing all the scars, you can make it if you hurry. Feeling so hard, I'm a king, fools recognize greatness. I don't deal with the fakeness, I'm not on that lateness. Come with that paper, trying to be friends, we could deal with that later. Caught in a life full of nightmares, I can tell that you're scared. Now I'm looking for the life in your fears. So tell me what's on your mind while we moving in time. I can't stop, but I'm ready to hit my prime. Now you gotta be the one to hit the beat. Tell me what you need to be. Now I'm looking back, I never take the seat. Tell me. Just a little something, not too much, but yeah, it's a song I've been working on. It's called Street Stories. It's similar to the topic that I'm doing about survival of the fittest, and you know, we all survive in our own time, in our own life, at our own purpose and moment. You know what I'm saying? And what I mean by that is that for Street Stories, it's talking about the streets of New York. Talking about how, you know, whether in the Bronx, Brooklyn, whatever the case is, you know, there's two different views to New York. You got the Manhattan side. You have the side where, you know, you got all the big buildings and the different venues, you know, and all that different type of stuff. But then you got the other side. You got the hood. The hood is the whole different ball game. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of times we think that, oh no, that's just something normal. No, the hood is serious. You know what I'm saying? Because when you're not from that hood, when you're not from that particular place, you know, individuals that reside in there, they know what's up. You know what I'm saying? So you have to understand and know the difference. So you know, you have to be willing to know that when you're walking into a territory that's not your own, it's a whole different ball game to when you walk into a place that you know of and that you're comfortable with, you know, and stuff like that. So that's what Street Stories is talking about. It's talking about the other portion of the situation. Like some years back, I even took a friend of mine. You know, I felt like I was kind of like a mentor to him, and I brought him to where I used to live at. And I used to live in New Haven. I didn't live in New York, but I lived in New Haven. And you know, I told him, I said, like, let me show you how things is really going on, because from where he's from, things kind of calm and chilled, you know, and stuff like that. So I took him to, you know, the hood in New Haven, and yeah, he was mind blown. One of my friends happened to be around that, you know, at the time, and he approached him and pretty much scared him. Like, you know, I wanted him to do that though, but he scared him. And you know, and I told him, I said, look, he could tell from the way that you look, from the way that you walk, from the look in your eye, that you're not from here. You know what I'm saying? So he came towards you because he saw that there's an indifference within inside the area that we're in. But that's part of survival of the fittest. That's the substantial mindset of the fact that you have to survive, you know, with inside a territory that's not your own. You know what I mean? And that's going to be every single day. Every day you're going to be walking into a territory that's not your own. Every day you're going to get into a new experience or or witness something that you may not even was supposed to witness or happen to be a part of on random. You know what I'm saying? And it's in that process of knowing how to move, what to do, and what position you need to put yourself in order to get yourself through the situation or through wherever it is that you're going. You know what I mean? So yeah, I want to go into survival of the fittest, and let's do this. Let's hit more bang. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Life just moves on. All right, yeah. What's good, YouTube? So let's talk about survival of the fittest. So, I got my paper, I got my notes ready, you know what I'm saying? I always got to be ready for something like this. So, survival of the fittest. It's the concept of survival versus chance. So sometimes when we're living inside a world that we're living in right now, there's always concepts of chance everywhere you go. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes you be put into positions where, you're either gonna succeed or you're gonna fail. But the question is this your state of survival? Is this the survival instincts that we all have innately within inside of ourselves and our instinct? Or is it by chance? Was there a reason that we survived that situation? Is there a reason why we went through whatever we went through in order to, and came out whatever which way we came out? You know what I'm saying? Was there a reason behind it? And it's kind of like a movie I used to watch. Actually, I probably still watch it now if I wanted to, but it's called Terminator. And in Terminator, you have this young lady who's just a normal lady. You know what I'm saying? And then out of nowhere, because of the distant future, the cyborg comes in trying to take her life. You know what I'm saying? She doesn't know why. She's just normal. She's living a normal life. And here comes this cyborg thing coming in, killing everybody that she loves and wanting her life. You know what I'm saying? So she's running. She's trying to figure out why she's being targeted, the whole nine. But it's through these different courses of that journey that actually took her out and made her into who she is today. You know what I'm saying? Now we all know her as that hard, fighter type person or whatever the case is. But sometimes you have to go through certain turmoils to get to that place that you need to be, because you may think that the way you are at the given moment is how you're supposed to be, is who you are in an entirety, but you don't know yourself until you're put into something that show you who you are. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes there's deeper parts of you that you didn't even know about. You know what I mean? So you have to learn to discover those parts of you in order to have that self-discovery of who you are. You know what I mean? So survival of the fittest. Are our chances dictating the outcomes to our life? Or is it fate that dictates us? Higher forces or our own will? So is it a higher force that's dictating us? That's telling us we have to move in a certain way? And guys know I believe in God, so I believe that God does have a purpose for us, but he's giving us the free will to move in that purpose. You see what I'm saying? So our steps and our decisions is gonna bring us closer to that purpose that we're meant for in order to fulfill what it is that God wants us to fulfill. That's what I believe. And what's told, and what I learned and researched and stuff like that. And I believe in that free will, because it's in that free will that dictates what course of actions you want to take and why you're going to take those actions. It's within our own free will that gives us our personality, gives us our traits, gives us all the things that make us who we are. You know what I'm saying? But I also believe that God does have a purpose, but he's not orchestrating the strings in order to make that purpose happen. He wants us to take care of that. And the reason why I'm saying that is because some years back, I had a mentor. His name was Brian Coleman. Amazing man. And it was the first man that came into my life that actually taught me specifically what a man should be. You know what I'm saying? And I wanted to, and it's crazy because I'm gonna mention another person that wasn't my mentor, but he was a pastor, and I want to tell you about him as well. But taught me what it is to be a man. And back at that time, I had came up with a program for my church, and it was called Music Feeds the Soul. And I'm still gonna be doing the program, trying to. It's just I gotta go through some different levels. You know what I mean? But within the program, what I was gonna do was I was gonna have professionals that I knew personally from doing music and stuff like that, and I was gonna have them teach young kids. In order to bring more kids into the church, I was gonna have them teach young kids how to produce, how to make music, how to be entrepreneurs, how to play the guitar, how to play the trumpet, whatever different type of things. It's kind of like a program, because I grew up within a program that actually helped me get to the position that I wanted to be in, and that was called Center Tribe back when I was in middle school, and that let me express myself freely and make music, and know how to produce videos, and how to produce music, and the whole nine. So I wanted to do the same thing, but on a larger scale. So I was trying to make this happen, and I came to Coleman because um I feel like Brian Coleman could have helped me out. You know what I mean? Because I really admired him, and I felt like he had a lot of force within the church. So I wanted to ask him to help me. So I came to him with my pitch. I showed him my proposal, and he was interested. But it was in that moment of his interest that I saw in his eyes that his prayers was answered, and it scared me. You know, seeing him like that really scared me, and put me in a place of worry, because I never seen a look like that a day in my life, but I knew what it meant. That was the first time he showed me that look. Long story short, I had a purpose, and I had something that God wanted me to do. During that time, I was too scared to fulfill it, because I didn't think that I was capable of doing it. In the process, I gave it to him and pushed it on him more and more and more, because I felt like he could have been able to fulfill it better than I could. But what you have to understand is that when you have a vision, first of all, when a man has a vision, a man can't back out on his vision. You see what I'm saying? It's in that moment of doubt and in that moment of worry that you destroyed everything that you were building. You know what I'm saying? I came up with it. The inspiration came into my brain. So that meant I was the one responsible of making this happen. But because I was afraid, I tried to push it on someone else to make them do it, so that I didn't have to worry about it. Because I felt like I wasn't fit. I felt like I couldn't do it. But just like Moses, who felt like he wasn't fit to save all of Egypt, and not set his people free, God looked at him and said, "Who am I?" And if God said that Moses was the one fit to make this happen, then Moses had to listen. I didn't want to listen, even though I wanted to listen, but then I didn't at the same time. You know what I'm saying? I felt like someone else was probably more fit, but God chose me. You know what I'm saying? Um, Long story short, I ended up going to it was a church conference, and I didn't want to perform for the church conference. I was gonna be as quiet as possible. I wanted to be as quiet as possible within the church conference. I didn't want to talk. I didn't want to teach. I didn't want to make them do nothing. And they were having a talent show, and I went to the talent show at first, not trying to do anything, but I had made this nice poem some time back. And I don't know, when I got inside the building, I was urged to do it. So I got on. It was all a cappella. No, it wasn't a cappella. I had the band do it live, but I had them come up with any type of inspirational piano piece they could come up with, and it was beautiful. And then I had did my piece on random, and I had everyone. I blew everyone's mind, and I talked about, it was supposed to be about God, but my piece was about God, but it wasn't at the same time. But it fit for the occasion, and I touched so many hearts without ever knowing it. They wanted my picture at the end. I ended up taking professional pictures, and Brian was there just cheering me on in the background. He had that look again, and it scared me. And I'm looking at him like, why is he looking at me like that? Why is a look on his face where it's like, yo, it's like he was looking at me as if like I was the one to do this. You know what I'm saying? And I was scared, and I didn't know how to feel, and the whole nine. And I was just like, why is he looking at me like that? You know what I'm saying? But it was scary. Long story short, I know I said that like 3 times, but long story short, he died. And I was going through a suffering that I never been through. Um, and it was crazy. Like everything was going against me, my job, my family, loved ones, the whole nine. It was like I was an outcast to the world. You know what I mean? And I came back from my job and I was holding all these bags. I couldn't get inside the apartment I was at the time because I didn't have the key. And I had to figure out what I was gonna do. So I was sitting in Starbucks, and then I remembered that my brother Jared Stevenson, he ended up having like a party because he came back from the army or whatever. So I went to the party and I had all my bags, and it was just random. And Brian was there, and he saw me, he hugged me. He was playing basketball, and long story short, he overheated, and he fell. And but the crazy and scary part was when I hugged him, it was like almost like a eerie feeling hit me, and at the time I didn't know what it meant. At the time I was afraid of what it meant. Now, let me say I didn't know. I was afraid of what it meant, because when I looked at him, I said to him, I said, please, like, slow down. Like, you know what I mean? I know you're playing ball, you're having a good time, but like, you sweating, you profusely sweating. Like, just relax a little bit. You know what I mean? Take a small break after this game. He said, yeah, I got you. And he said, I love you. And that was the scariest thing I ever heard. Like, can you imagine hearing someone tell you I love you and it be scary? That was the scariest thing I ever heard. He said, I love you. And I said, I love you back. But I was going through so much, I wasn't paying attention to the signs. But I blame myself. I blame myself so much for that time, because I felt like I could have stopped it. I felt like I could have did something more, so on and so forth. So it goes back to that survival. Is it survival, or is it by chance? Was it by chance that I happened to say, well, I can't get in the apartment, so I ended up at the party? Or was it survival instinct? Did I know I wasn't at a location, but I needed to be somewhere safe, and just remembered that my brother had a party, so I'll be safe going over there? Or was it by chance? Was supposed to be there? You know what I'm saying? What was I supposed to learn in that circumstance? What was I supposed to see? Was it in my own will to want to be there? You know what I'm saying? And to be honest, I did. I didn't want to be alone. But then at the same time, I felt like I was going through a battle with the devil, and the battle with these forces that, I felt entirely alone. But God kept telling me, you're never alone. And, for me to see Brian at the time, that's my mentor, I give him the utmost respect. I'm gonna be having a piece that I'll be having out called The Comb, and it's a dedication thing I did for Brian. And I'm not gonna tell you about it right now, but it's definitely something I wanted to do for him, because he did so much for me. And so many years went by where I didn't I kept pushing away from what was my purpose. I was afraid. I didn't think I was the one supposed to do it. And now you guys see me here. You know what I mean? So I'm fulfilling everything I didn't fulfill when I was younger. So those mistakes that I made brought me here. You know what I'm saying? And to be honest with you, it was by chance and it was by choice. It's both. You know what I mean? And why is because I needed to be in the position, but because I didn't see or have that comfortability in myself to believe that I can do it, God put me in a position where I had to see the outcome of what could happen when you don't push towards something that you built. So sometimes there are moments where you somehow survive circumstances that seem almost impossible. In hindsight, it's almost like reviving in a game. You know what I'm saying? I died the first time. I failed the game. Okay? Now, learning through that experience of trying to beat the boss without all the necessary equipment, I told myself I had to start over. So I went backwards. But sometimes when you go backwards, it's a lot longer. Okay? When I went back, it was longer. I just started this talk show within like the last few months now. You know what I'm saying? But this was years back in when this happened. So why did it take so long for me to get up to this point? Because I had to arm myself with the garment. You know what I'm saying? The garment of God, in order to bring myself enough courage and enough fight to stand before you guys and have this talk with you guys. You know what I'm saying? So in like the game, when you die, you have to go back, find all the healing potions. You have to find all the equipment and the strongest equipment that you need in order to survive the attacks that's going to be hitting you. You have to be able to know what attacks to use and what attacks not to use, what defenses to use, when to use those defenses, you know, so on and so forth. You know what I mean? So you have to make sure that you have enough of the support items that you need in order to make you stronger and survive a lot longer and last within the battle. Because remember, a lot of times the boss has like a health bar, like boom, like 10 of them junks, 10 health bars, and you're just like, go with the freak. And you attacking them and you just took like this much out. And you're like, oh no, I don't even know how to begin to beat you. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like surviving in a game. So we are given chances in life to correct or survive the situation. So sometimes your chance is there in order to give you another chance to survive in order to correct what you messed up in from before. Now I know I said a lot just there, but sometimes you're giving a chance to survive again. Okay? So you survived the situation, right? The first time. Why did you survive it? Because there was another chance for you to create a different opportunity in order to fix what you messed up. Okay? But in order for you to find that chance, you have to find it within yourself. It reminds me of the Avengers, Endgames, when they were fighting against Thanos, and Doctor Strange, he had his Infinity Stone, right, of time, and he stopped and he thought about it, and he said, yo, out of all the chances, there's only one left. We died in every other alternate universe. The only one we didn't die in was one of them. But in order to survive it, he had to do what? He had to sacrifice himself. And he sacrificed himself in order to do what? Save Tony. So Tony was given another chance. See what I'm saying? Within the end of that movie, many people died, a lot of heroes included. But Tony survived, right? Tony then had to use whatever decisions he made later in order to give the chance for everyone to live again. So he sacrificed himself to save everybody. But here's the funny part. Tony screwed up in the first place. That's why Tony had the second chance to fix it. Go all the way back to Ultron. He created two substances, one of them by accident and the other one that he wanted to by survival. He created Vision and he created Ultron. He created Vision as the artificial intelligence known as Jarvis. He took that artificial intelligence and created a core out of it. Well, he did not know all the knowledge of what that core was. And he created, and what he didn't know was that was portion of the Infinity Stone, which also manifested his desires. And at the moment, he was in a very vexed place because he wanted to survive and he wanted to protect and he wanted to save the world, and he didn't know the best way to do it. So he wanted to create an army that was going to be able to protect everybody if a big collision came again. So he accidentally created the persona of Ultron. Ultron then took its own form and its own root, and it created himself into its own cyborg where it then opposed everybody. Then Vision got involved, and you know the whole story. That's how it all started, by him creating these two life forms, or whatever the case was, which then fostered the Infinity Stones to its full extent, which then guess who ended up finding out about it? Thanos. And Thanos, being the juggernaut that he was, one shot in the freaking Hulk without ever using the Infinity Stones. That blew my mind. He was a monster with the Infinity Stones. Without it, he was a monster. You know what I'm saying? So he took the Hulk and flipped him and was like, "What up, bruh?" You know what I'm saying? So you have to look at it for its entirety. You know what I'm saying? So when you're going back to the situation, you're looking at everything and what was created. He started the situation, was given another chance because of Doctor Strange, and then he fixed it. See what I'm saying? But you have to go through these levels in order to understand the full purpose. I had to experience the feeling of fear of being the person that had to create what I wanted to create. I made the wrong choices at that time. Try to push it on someone else, and I had to feel that sense of loss in order to build myself up to get to where I'm at right now. Now I see me on Guerrilla Tactics, handling business, you know, the whole nine. And the scary part was that Guerrilla Tactics wasn't originally supposed to be a talk show. It was supposed to be a gaming show, and I was gonna do games in the whole night, but I never did it, and I had Guerrilla Tactics on standby. Then I happened to come back later on where I wanted to start doing a talk show, and boom, Guerrilla Tactics came to form. So you have to look at how it works. It was chance and it was survival. I felt like I had to survive. I tried to run. I did run, and I didn't survive, and I didn't win. I lost. So I had to get that second chance once again in order to build myself up. But in order to find that chance, I had to learn that feeling of loss. And I was lost when I lost my mentor. And it wasn't me losing my mentor because I didn't feel like I knew what to do next. I felt like I messed up. I felt like it was my fault that what happened to him because I kept denying my purpose. You know what I'm saying? That's really how I felt at the time. But it was in that same chance that God gave that brought me to a new survival. Sometimes survival of the fittest isn't just you having to survive and you have to grind and find everything you need in order to come out on top and da da da. No, sometimes survival of the fittest is you looking and searching within yourself to build a new part of yourself in order to bring forth something that can change your life and change many lives. Like there's a quote that you guys always hear, and it says that it takes a village to raise a child. Well, I added on to that quote some years back, and yes, it takes a village to raise a child, but it takes many generations to create change, to create peace. See what I'm saying? So it takes all of us. I may not be able to save the world all the way, but can I create a milestone to give to the next generation? Yes. Is that by chance or by survival? It's both. It was by chance that I became the man that I became. But it was survival that took my philosophies. It was survival that took my ideologies. It was my survival that took my legacy and put it forth to the next generation. But in order for it to work, I have to be willing to do it. Okay? So we are given chances in life to correct or survive the situation. Is that based on our human will? If so, in what ways does if what ways does our will dictate our life? So when you look at yourself and you look at your free will, how does your free will dictate your life? How do you foster your life through your free will? Easy, through your decisions. It's within your decisions that's going to determine on whether you're going to move in the path that you need to move in or you're going to fail. Okay? So survival of the fittest it's a worldwide situation. It's a broad thing because it could be a physical survival. You being in a territory that you've never been in, both physically and mentally and spiritually. You see what I'm saying? And I said spiritually because that also reminds me of me in the very beginning. I didn't want anything to do with God when I was younger. And let's be honest, I didn't. I was in foster care at the age of 3. I told y'all in another video about that. And I felt like it was God's fault that I was going through what I was going through. He took me away from my mother. He took me away from my happiness. I was going through all this suffering. So I blamed him. But God still brought me into the church. When I got adopted, the mother I had brought me into the church. And even then I still was clowning. I still acting like I didn't care and I didn't want nothing to do with it, the whole nine. And and everything. To be honest, I actually joined the church in the wrong reasons. But God knew what he was doing. You know what I mean? And I went through catechism. I was the clown in the class. I was laughing and joking and making jokes and not taking things serious and, the whole nine. And but God was doing something to me without me realizing it. What I didn't understand was why I knew the verses of the Bible so easily, why I understood and comprehended what was being talked about so easily. There was so much going on within that situation, and I never understood why. You know what I'm saying? And up to the day when I passed my catechism, and I had gotten my cross chain, and they gave me a certificate and all that, and I was an official member in the whole nine, I still was clowning. I was still like, God this, God that, whatever. But I went to sleep. And when I woke up the next day, I was a whole different person. I started praising his name. I was on my knees in that morning, just sitting there saying, thank you, God, for everything you've done for me. I love you. And so the whole nine. And I haven't changed since. And I can't tell you what changed in me from that night to that morning, but something happened and I woke up different. You know what I'm saying? I woke up totally different, a whole different man. I was able to control my anger that I had back as a kid. And I was able to it was like I was walking a whole different path. You know what I'm saying? It was mind blowing. It was, you know what I mean? And it was crazy, you know. And it brings me all the way back, way before everything I just told you happened. When I was sitting inside this empty room crying, and I was crying, At first I was crying to my mother, but when I realized I was gonna see her again, I stopped crying to her and I just started crying in general. But I still was crying up, and I never understood why until I got older. I was crying to God the whole time. Mind blowing, right? So is that based on our human will? If so, in what ways does our will dictate our life? Or is it a higher force or power giving you that chance? Why do you think we survive our situations? How does it upgrade us? Are our decisions teeter-tottering on the edge of destruction or fostering a new arrival? It could be either one based on ourselves. So survival of the fittest is really the concept of your choices. It's the concept of what you decide to make and what you decide to do. You know what I'm saying? So I could have chosen to continue to run. I could have chosen to give up. I could have chosen to stay in my own way. But in order for me to find and bring myself to the person that I am today, and to be the true self that I know I am and that God created me to be, I had to step out. And it was scary. Just like Moses, he was afraid to step out when God told him to free his people, but he had to. And he had to lose everything just to get there. And that's the same thing that happened to me. I lost everything to find my new awakening. And it was based off of my own choices, but at the same time, it was chance. Because God was using me for whatever he was using me for. So, you know, don't be afraid to fulfill the things that you want to fulfill. Sometimes your dream may seem like it's vexing and it's not there, but if you keep on pushing, if you keep on going, you might actually find yourself in the place that you want to be later on. But you have to keep on pushing. Survival is about how hard you can keep on taking the punches. Survival is about how far you can walk, even though your feet is bleeding and hurting. Survival is how much you can fight for that loved one, even when things is not looking good between you two, even when it look like you guys are having the hardest time. That's survival. But chance is when you're given the opportunity and placed into a position where you can create a different outlook, a different outcome. You know what I'm saying? So you have to be able to move in a way that will protect you and keep you safe. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, allow you to fulfill the things that you want to fulfill. You know what I mean? So when you physically survive, it's a whole different concept. You know what I mean? Physically surviving is the way that you treat your body and the way that you treat your life. You know what I'm saying? So if you're giving yourself nothing but bad in your life and feeding yourself an energy that you don't need, all you're doing is feeding your life. All you're doing is teeter-tottering down a path. Like kind of like you're looking down the hall and you're looking down this very far looking what you call it, say tunnel, and all you see is black. You can choose to walk down that tunnel without anything and just be in the dark and try to find your way, or you could walk down that tunnel with a candle in your hand, or create fire with some sticks and then walk down the tunnel. Same concept. You know what I mean? So survival of the fittest is all up to you. It's what you decide to do. It's what you decide to build. It's the choices that you make that lead up to it. But sometimes it's chance bringing you back to a different outcome. Because sometimes you just need to, in order to survive, you just need another chance. You need another way of looking at life and looking at yourself. Peace tea. It's my first time trying it. This junk is blazing. For real. This is good. But anyways, Beautiful people, I thank you so much for coming to Guerrilla Tactics, checking out my videos, liking my videos, subscribing to my videos, commenting my videos, because without you, I wouldn't be able to do any of this. In order for you to survive, you have to start looking at things a little different. Open your mind, open your insight. Stop trying to think that you know everything, because we all don't know everything. In order for us to grow, we have to adapt. In order to adapt, we have to stop thinking we have all the answers and start listening and learning. You know what I'm saying? So, thank you so much for coming in and tuning in. It was an early morning again. I don't know why I woke up at 8 in the morning, especially since I went to bed late. But either with that, sometimes God just needs you to do certain things and you just have to listen. So beautiful people, thank you so much. Please like my videos. Please subscribe to my videos. Please comment my videos. Please comment. Please comment. You have any insight? Talk to me, man. I need y'all to hit the comment bar so I can talk to you guys more, because these are discussion videos. We're supposed to talk about these things. No one's wrong. I'm not saying your opinion, my opinion wrong. No, let's talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Because you might teach me something, or I might teach you something. So let's talk. You know what I mean? So please hit my comment bar. You guys want me to cover any videos? Hit me in the comments. Let me know what you want me to discuss and what you want me to talk about, so on and so forth. Just letting you guys know, I have a guest coming in on one of my next videos. You know, I definitely want you guys to tune into that so that you guys can see the new guest. I'm gonna be hitting the promos on my Instagram page, MoonVargas48. So definitely check that out. Please hit my Patreon. Please hit my Patreon. I got my first patron. I'm trying to get more people to continue, because I do need a profit in order to make this a full-time business, and at the same time to upgrade so that you guys can see me in a better light, not just on my bed or in the bathroom, you know what I mean? But other than that, I just need you guys to help me out. So also hit my Cash App. It's Tychee24. And yeah, you know, just trying to do what I got to do. At the same time, hit the Instagram, hit the Patreon, and yeah, just tune into Guerrilla Tactics so we can make more bangers. Thank you so much for tuning in. Beautiful people, I love you all, and have a blessed day. God bless. Yeah. Life just moves on. All right. Yeah. 3, 2. The beginning of the secrets to the life that you needed. Looking in my own eyes, knowing I couldn't defeat it. All the feelings of my soul, all my thoughts untold. Looking for the road leading to the